Hey guys, welcome back. I have a very special treat for you guys today. We are here at Farmington Gardens with Emily, who's one of the assistant managers, and we are going to get a behind the scenes of this nursery. We were here several weeks ago and I was picking up a couple of trees and you guys were enamored about how beautiful this garden center is, and I was like, you should be, because it is very unique and different from anything else that we have out here. So we are not only going to go tour the garden center, their display garden, but we are getting like a behind the scenes look today, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're starting out in the production side. So I'm going to get behind the camera. Emily is going to walk us around and I'm going to show you guys some really cool stuff that I'm already like geeking out on right now. So I'm like, I can't wait. I can't wait for you guys to see this place. So let's just jump right in. So Emily, can you give me kind of a behind, what's the story behind Farmington Gardens? I know it's not just a nursery, but it's a whole production center.
Welcome to Schrage Nurseries, first of all. Farmington Gardens is a part of Schrage Nurseries. This nursery was founded in 1989 by,
Wow.
We've been around for quite a while, over 30 years. It was founded by a woman named Linda.
Okay.
Started out as a roadside stand.
No way.
Super tiny operation. She started out with wholesale, so selling to other companies. And suddenly she noticed a lot of individuals, homers from the community, were stopping by and asking, hey, can I buy a shrub? And she was like, oh, there's opportunity here.
Yeah.
So she decided to expand her operation, and that's how Farmington Gardens was born, selling directly to consumers. It was right across the street from her initial wholesale operation, and that set up shop in 1994. So this is our 30th year now.
That is so incredible. And now how many acres is the whole property or the whole company?
I believe they have about 350 acres in production.
Wow.
So it's massive. Yeah.
Okay. And it all started with the backyard.
Yeah, just like a tiny little roadside stand in the country. Linda herself, her family grew up in the area. So she has been kind of in the agricultural industry. She worked under Glenn Walters, who's a huge name in the area.
Yeah.
And he had a garden center.
Okay.
I don't believe it's in operation anymore. I have to double check that.
Okay.
That's where she started. That's where she learned the trade. And then she decided to go set off on her own. Started with 1 acre.
Wow.
She had cut flowers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And cut flowers is still one of her passions. So even though she's expanded into Japanese maples and conifers, she still really cares about the cut flowers. She even opened up her own, we have a floral shop now as well in Hillsboro.
Yeah, you do.
And that stems from that original passion for sure.
Oh, I remember driving by, and when you guys had that field in the back with the cut flowers, I immediately was like, what is this? I was so excited. I was like, yes, you guys absolutely needed this. So not only can you buy plants and trees and shrubs, but you can also pick up fresh flowers for your house. So that's amazing. Now, can you talk about what is your guys' specialty here? I think I know because I am always creeping at the nursery, but can you share with us what the main focus is? You guys grow a lot of things, but I just wanted to dive in more of what's the specialty from Schrage.
Yeah, so for our wholesale operation, they're most well known for their Japanese maples.
Okay.
I believe there's over 80 varieties now in production. So especially varieties that you can't get anywhere else. And they ship them across the country and even to Canada at this point. Absolutely beautiful. Everything from the tiny 1 gallons you see at our nursery to massive 20-gallon plants that are a complete landscape plant.
They're beautiful. It's always my dream. If you want instant impact, that's what you buy. And it's just, oh my gosh, I love it so much. And that is one thing that we love about coming here is you guys have the biggest maple selection I think we've seen as far as garden center in this area.
Yes.
And your evergreens are also unbelievable.
Yeah. Right now we're kind of standing in where a lot of our other evergreens are, our thujas particularly over here. So they're also known for their specialty conifers, like the thuja. I think of some of the other varieties that are really popular. You can probably just look around here.
Yeah.
These are all evergreen shrubs. Abelia, which is in the store right now and looking beautiful.
So
it's an evergreen.
Gosh.
Cryptomeria.
Oh yeah. And so these start out, so these are all not grafts, but cuttings that you guys take, right?
They start off different ways depending on what they're growing. Some things are grown from seed. Some things are grown from like a cutting from like a mother plant. A lot of our Japanese maples particularly are grown from cutting.
Oh, okay. And you guys do that all here, right? It's all in-house.
Yes.
And I saw a little bit of the production line, and I'll show you guys some of the machinery because it's super impressive seeing it in person. Like, I've seen this on TV, but never in real life. It's so, so cool. And so do you guys always start out small when you're taking, like when you're doing cuttings or grafting or anything like that? Does it always start out at the 1 gallon?
Even smaller. So yeah, so I don't know if you've seen them, but like if you're growing plants at home, you have the seed trays.
Yeah.
Very similar setup.
Got it. Okay.
So you don't just go immediately to a 1 gallon. You probably end up overwatering and killing your plants at that point.
Sure. Sure. This is a pro tip. If you're trying to do any cuttings at home, listen to this. Yes.
Bigger pot is not necessarily better.
Okay.
The container should fit the plant size.
Okay.
So yeah, when you're dealing with seedlings, you're working with seedling trays.
Okay. Awesome.
So yeah, no, our Japanese maples, they start off tiny, like the tiniest little cutting. And then you end up with a massive plant.
Yeah.
And we can show some of those.
Yeah, and they're so fast growing. It's unbelievable when you just get like a little, honestly, like just like a little seedling. It's tiny, tiny. And then just in a few years, they grow so quickly.
And the final plants you see like at the garden center, those are usually around 3 to 5 years old.
Okay.
Sometimes a little younger, but 3 to 5 tends to be like the age that comes in.
Okay.
Because we wait till they're rooted out. We want to make sure our customers have the most success possible, and making sure they have a strong root system so they can survive transplanting is very important.
Okay, got it. That was going to be my next question. Like, how long does it take from beginning to end to when you guys get them out to us?
Years of effort.
Yeah. And so now, does the grafting and all of the cuttings, all of that, is that all year round production? Are you guys constantly doing that?
Yeah, so we have production all year round. Right now we're shifting in, we'll show you a little bit. We do wreaths as well. And wreaths is something Linda has been working on ever since she originally started the business, to be a full year round so you can employ people. So we don't want to just be a seasonal business where we let everyone go and then bring them back.
Sure.
That's really tough to retain like good folks.
Yeah.
So during the holiday season, we do the cut trees over at our retail operations. We ship across the country and sell in stores fresh wreaths and garlands. So they're working on putting those together already.
Okay. So when you said that they're working on wreaths, it's not just to sell at the nursery.
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a whole ship a wreath program where like if you want to like send your mother in Idaho a wreath but can't make the drive, we can do that for you.
No kidding. I didn't know that. Well, when I saw all of the greenery, I was like, well, that's a lot for just a nursery, you know, but I don't know, maybe you guys just sell a ton of wreaths and you're getting a head start, but I had no idea.
Yes, it's...
Wow.
We also work with local groups, sometimes school groups. Boy Scouts is a big one, where they'll do a fundraiser and we'll provide the wreaths for them.
Oh, okay. Nice. And now, when we were just talking about, I just cannot...
Our sea of maples here.
Wow. See, I'm going to get lost in my train of thought because I am so distracted by all of the beauty here. Look at this.
This is a red dragon, Acer palmatum.
One of my favorites, actually.
It's
one
beautiful.
of my favorites. And I always joke with everybody because I feel like we've outgrown our garden already because we're not buying as many trees as we were. And so now I see this and I'm like, well, we really need to move then. Like the possibilities are just endless here. You mentioned that you guys ship things across the country.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about that? Because people often will ask, you know, we're so lucky here in Oregon because we have just the most beautiful growing environment.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
Yeah, and everything gets shipped around the country, right? And so is that, again, all year round? Is there like a bump in the season where you guys are typically shipping?
Yes.
I'm assuming fall, springtime?
Yep, fall and spring are the big shipping times. That's when the garden centers want to receive their plants.
Okay.
So for Ostroggy Nurseries, because we're a wholesale operation, we're not like shipping a single tree to one customer. We're shipping a truck full of plants to a nursery so someone can come and pick it up on the East Coast.
Okay. And is there a place, I know you guys have your own tag, so I can always identify a Ostroggy. I was like
looking for one, but they're probably not tagged right now.
Yeah, I get so excited because I'm like, oh, I know who they are. Is there a place, so if people were interested in buying or interested in your guys' plants and trees, can they ask their local nursery to start carrying you guys? How does that work?
I mean, we always love that.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a whole sales office, so anyone's
Okay.
always welcome to reach out directly.
Okay.
I can share contact information for that.
Okay.
But yeah, keep an eye out for a tag. It says Astragi Nurseries on it. I can show you one later.
Okay.
And we've been really working on our plant tags in the last year and a half, year or two, to include all of the growing information, reworking them so like they're accessible. So people can immediately be like, yeah, I can plant this tree and it's going to do well for me.
Yeah. So I heavily rely on those tags, even if I already know.
Yes.
I like to keep them or at least take pictures of them. So I do appreciate when garden centers or nurseries or wholesalers take the time, because it seems so like, I don't know, it seems like something that's kind of passed over from some places. And I'm like, this is an Acer palmatum, but which one? You know, like it's not too specific, but you guys are very specific about your tags, which I appreciate. Can we continue looking at some of the smaller trees over here? I just want to show people how like small they are when they get started to before they become full grown trees. So you guys bump them up, I can see, right?
So you know, we start at the little tiny trays, then to the gallon, 2, 3, and on up. We do in pot, which means the plant is directly inside the pot. We also do B&B, balled and burlapped. That's when you see the classic balled and burlap. We do both of those. Okay.
Let me ask you a question about that, because there's different philosophies about planting, like the ball and burlap. Some people will just leave it there. Some people will take it out. What do you recommend?
I would remove it.
Okay.
It's one of those things, yes, it's biodegradable. Like it will degrade over time. Yeah. How long, right? Like, you know, when you're composting at home and you're like putting eggshells and different things, they all have different composting rates. Or like why you're not supposed to throw an orange peel like when you're hiking. Yeah. Because like, yes, it'll degrade, but it's a long time scale. It's a long time scale. Plants want to immediately start rooting out. So you're limiting how fast they can root out and establish themselves.
Okay, good to know. I always try to remove as much as I can. You know, sometimes it's like really...
Yeah, don't like beat yourself up about it. Like you can't get 100%, but the more you remove, the better off your plant's going to be.
Especially the rope, because I've seen people plant it with the rope and I'm like, oh no, take that off. Yeah, at least the rope. The rope can eventually dig into the tree, and the tree will grow over it and try and protect itself. But it can eventually lead to like girdling roots, which is what you really don't want. Okay. Or the tree basically strangles itself. Ooh. Which, that's so sad. And it's a thing where like, you're not going to notice it immediately. That first year, fine. Maybe 3 to 5 years, totally fine. You're going to have a beautiful tree, and then it's going to start dying. Oh no. And it's because what you did at planting years and years ago. Yeah. You know, you can see the tiny 1 gallons. Oh my gosh. So these are going to become the beautiful trees that we first looked at. No way. This is wild. Yeah, and for like your home gardener, I always actually recommend buying smaller. Oh, really? Okay. I do, yeah. I mean, there's less transplant shock. The more time a plant sits in a pot, even the most well taken care of one, the more difficult that transplant process is going to be for it. So you have to be more conscientious. Plus, saves you money. It does save you money. You know, it's funny because all of the maples and evergreens that we've purchased from you guys, I think a lot of them are like 3rd year right now, and they're blowing up. Yes. And we bought them so small. Like there's one magnolia, I bought it and it was probably as tall as us, and now she's a behemoth. And I'm like, what? Like, yeah, it can take like 3 years to establish. Oh yeah, yeah. And if you want that instant impact, we can do that. You can buy a big tree, have that beautiful instant impact. And sometimes it's good to anchor the space originally. But sure. If you have patience, I know it is worth it. And then you can shape it too. That's my whole thing. Like you get to shape it from the very beginning. If you don't like what you're seeing, that's okay. If you buy a small, you have plenty of like play time to get them to where you want them to be. Now, speaking of planting, because you yourself are a gardener, and you know a lot about plants, what time do you recommend planting trees and all the good stuff? Fall is always my favorite time. Okay. For many different reasons. It's cooling down, so you're not going to have a heat wave, which can kill a tree, especially a newly planted tree, really quickly. Yep. In the Pacific Northwest, it's when the rain hits, so we don't have to irrigate our plants as much. There's less worry about that. And then for deciduous plants, like Japanese maples that lose their leaves, they're going into dormancy. So they've already stored all the energy they need to survive throughout the winter. Oh. So you're much better off. Okay. Versus planting in spring, not necessarily a bad thing, and it's often the best time to get new varieties, which if you're a gardener is always very exciting. Yeah. But then the plant needs to be able to
get all of the energy throughout the season while also dealing with transplant stress.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a double whammy there for the
Yeah.
plant.
Now we're gonna head back and we're gonna go check out some of the production line and where they're doing the wreaths, because I just want you guys to see how beautiful everything is. And I wish you guys could smell it, because just walking right by it, I was like, it's Christmas. It feels like Christmas. On our way back, look at what we found. Oh my gosh.
I can't, there's no
yeah,
way.
they're so tight in there. It's okay. They're so,
Yeah.
wow, wow, wow. So these are like, what, little 4-inch
Yep.
containers?
Super tiny. So these obviously are not ready to go out for sale.
Mm-hmm. How many do you think are in here?
Oh, there's thousands.
This is wild.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a massive operation.
yeah.
They have, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say they have like 200 plus employees.
No way.
No, it is a big operation. It's been in the community for years.
Oh my gosh. I don't think you know this about me, but I love trees. I am like the biggest tree hugger you'll ever meet. And so when I see this, my like heart just goes boom, 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 boom. Like, this is so cool. I just think about one day this could be in your garden.
Yeah, so we have Picea, Pinus over here. There's a Pines, classic name. I don't know.
That's so cool. So we're walking by one of the Japanese maple greenhouses. And Emily was just saying how when they're young, they're very tender, right? To the sun.
And you can see in here the blue tape. These have just been grafted.
Oh, okay.
So you have a different rootstock, a different type of maple.
Okay.
And then the new cool variety with the fun foliage is cut and taped on top.
Can you tell me more about that? So every maple, is it grafted onto just an Acer palmatum? Like that's the basic one, right?
Yes, yeah, straight species, super strong, you know, winter hardy. So it gives the traits you want to survive.
Okay.
And then the fun foliage that we love so much, the reason like Japanese maples in general are so exciting because you can have such a variety of leaf color and shape.
Right.
That's put on top.
Okay. So they all have the similar, or if not the same root stock. And then it's just the top where the party starts.
Yes.
Got it. Got it. Wow. So, so cool.
Yeah. So like, when you're gardening and you have this beautiful fun plant that you bought, and then you see a patch of leaves that are just not like the rest of them, they look weird. You're like, what is going on? It's probably because it's a grafted plant and the plant is reverting.
So it's not just the suckers you have to think about.
Yes.
But it could also happen up top.
It's more common for certain species. I think Euonymus, which is a classic evergreen shrub, is known to revert.
Really?
I don't think that's a grafting one. That's just reverting to the straight species.
Okay.
The genes are so strong, it wants to go back to what it used to be.
That's so interesting, but also sad at the same time. It's like, oh man, it just wants to be what it originally was.
Yes.
I have that with one of my roses. It keeps shooting out like a red rose, and it's like, it's a yellow rose. That's what I bought, but it keeps going red. I'm like, stop doing it. Like, I know you want to be what you were originally, but I bought you to be yellow. We made it back to where they're starting to do the wreaths. So can you tell me a little bit about this process?
Yeah, so during this time of year, we're starting to transitional into our seasonal holiday like items. We're making our orders for our cut trees, and we're also getting our holiday wreaths and garlands ready. Wow. So right
you guys
now,
start this early.
Yes.
And it smells so good. And you also mentioned how you have different teams doing different things, right?
Yes.
So these guys do the prep work, and then you have a whole nother team that actually makes the wreaths.
Yes.
Wow. That is so cool. Like, I'm just like trying to wrap my mind around just how you guys do everything in stages, in steps. And this is how you're able to do it in such a mass like production.
Yeah, and keep the quality. That's very important.
Yeah. No, your guys' wreaths are good. I've bought them before and I'm like, yeah, these are nice. These are very, very nice. Amazing.
Yeah, so these are ones you can buy at our garden center. These are the ones you can buy online. You can ship them. We also send them off to other garden centers. Send them off to different organizations.
Okay. I'll make sure to link their information down below, you guys. But that is something you should completely like keep in your mind if you're trying to do like a holiday gift. If you want to avoid going home, but you want to send your mom or dad something, or your friend something, or your in-laws something, why not a wreath? I think that's such a special gift, and it's delivered right to their door.
Yep.
That's amazing. Amazing. So we're here at, this is one of your guys' production lines. This is how you get pots filled.
Yeah, so you can kind of see this rotates.
Uh-huh.
moving
Wow.
the product down the line.
Uh-huh.
You have the empty containers over here that we use. This shakes a little bit and it'll shake soil or potting medium, not necessarily soil, depending on what you're growing, all the way down here. And then it'll be taken off, put onto carts, moved to the greenhouses that we were walking to earlier.
And that's how it's done.
Yes.
I always wonder, because you know, this is the stuff that always spills out when we're planting our trees. I'm like, how do they do this? There's so much, you know, and you guys obviously use these huge machineries. Wow. And so this is probably every day, right? They're probably out here potting things
during a particular time of year.
Okay.
Yeah. So like everything has its season, whether we're grafting or we're potting things up, we're moving things to a different container.
Sure.
Yeah. It all happens at different times of year. It's all regimented.
Okay. It's all on schedule.
It's all on schedule.
And can you tell me about like the soil that a lot of nurseries, I think, use this like bark, I don't know, just it's very barky but there's a lot of like, I don't know, what's in here? What do you guys like to use? Tell me more about this.
I believe this is a lot of Douglas fir.
Oh,
so we use what's local. Douglas fir is our state tree in Oregon. And there's a lot of it growing. It passes water through really well.
Okay.
And so that's one of your big concerns when you have potted plants. You don't want thick clay soil that's native to us.
Right.
Because all the water is just going to get stuck in there and you're going to have a rotted out plant.
Right. Okay. And I did notice that like anytime we buy, really anywhere, it drains really well. And I think that's your guys' main target, right? You don't want things to get gross and retain a lot of water. Do you always recommend like taking this out when you're planting, like around the pot? Yeah.
So, I mean, your planting technique depends on where you're planting it. Whether you're planting it in the ground or you're planting it to your own personal container. Okay. If you're planting in the ground in Oregon, for the most part, we're really lucky actually with our clay. We complain about it. It's hard to dig. It's annoying. But it retains all of the nutrients. Clay soils are really great for like fertility retention.
Okay.
So just mixing in a compost to help, you know, with the water flow through is really all you need to do. So just mixing in compost to native. You don't need to put this in there. If it gets in there, it's not going to cause any problems. It's going to break down over time.
Sure.
If you're planting into your own container, depending on what you're planting, then probably not necessarily this, but something a little bit more free moving. That's why you buy potting soil versus compost versus,
Got it. So, okay, that's really good to know. I always worry, like, should I use this? Like, especially in the beginning when I was just really getting into gardening, I always thought, like, in my mind, do I need to put this in the hole or do I not? So it was a little bit of trial and error because you're right, we do have clay soil and we've used compost a lot to build up our soil because, oh man, I mean, you have to have some good muscles to dig in our soil here. So that's really cool. Thank you for showing us this.
No problem.
So we are going to head back to the garden center, but these are the tags that you were mentioning. Look at how beautiful they are.
Beautiful image of the plant, then all of the information, both the Latin name, the scientific name, as well as the common name, growing information.
This is what I love. I keep these like in a little binder. I do. I'm such a nerd that way. But I love them. They're full of information.
So whenever you see the Etragi name, you know it came from our nursery.
There you go. Okay. All right, guys. We are back at the garden center, and we're going to start out back here at the display garden, which if you come to Farmington Gardens and you don't come back here, you're doing yourself a disservice because this is probably like my favorite place to just come and hang out. Even if I'm not buying plants and I just want to look at the nursery, I'll come out here with a coffee and just kind of walk around and relax. So Emily is going to walk us through here. Can you tell me when this was put into place?
This is original to Farmington Gardens. So yeah, when we opened up the store in 1994, they were working on the display garden.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so
it's that established.
Trees have been growing here for 30 years.
Holy cow.
That's why they're so beautiful and tall now.
They're beautiful. And you guys maintain all of this, right? Like,
yes.
You guys, all of the pruning.
Yes. Our landscape designer, Jude, she helps manage and put new plants in here and constantly refreshes it, like our fountain here.
I love this.
And then we have a whole team that comes through and helps with weeding. All the classics that you do at your garden at home, we have to do here.
So you have like your own little garden that you're maintaining back here. And that is another service that you guys offer, right? Landscape design?
Yeah. Landscape design. Jude does a whole range of services. Like she can work with clients to just kind of help them plan their space if they're just starting out on their journey, all the way to like creating an official design, picking out the plants with you and getting them installed.
Oh, okay.
So
that's amazing because I think there's so many people that want a beautiful garden, but not necessarily have the time
Yes.
or might want to do it, which to me, that's the funnest part. But you have people like, Farmington Gardens that can come out and just provide it's like a one-stop shop.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so wherever you are on your design journey, Jude can help you out.
Okay, amazing. And what roses are these? This is one of the ones that I'm always like, I need to ask them. Do you know which one this is?
It's a variety of knockout rose. So the one that just keeps blooming over and over and over. We have them also out on the roadside as well, just because they're a workhorse.
Yeah, they are. So, well, there's several of them in here, but I did notice these are constantly in bloom.
Yes.
They never stop in the summertime.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, so are knockout roses in general, are they just go? If you want constant color, that's what you want to invest in.
And I can show you, we have some for sale, and look at the varieties we have over there.
Okay.
Those ones are labeled in like lime green pots, knockout rose. It's a whole series.
Okay, amazing. I usually see like the orange ones. I forget what, like Urban Winners has some good ones.
Yes, they do.
But these are really beautiful. I love the pink. And one of the other things I love about here is you guys have apple trees.
Yes.
And I'll walk by and there'll just be like an apple sitting here. And I think that's so charming. I don't know. I love it so much.
Yeah, feel free to take them if you see them. We don't do a whole lot. Some of our team members will take them home and do canning and things like that.
Okay, I don't want to say anything, but I'm like, I have taken one.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, this one looks good, and
totally
I just had a little snack. Oh, I love how you guys also have little seating areas to show people like what can be done. Just look at this beautiful layering. Now it is going to get a little bit loud because we're right by the road here, so I apologize ahead of time. Hakanakloa?
Japanese forest grass.
Okay. Stunning.
There's some more mature ones over there I'll show you that are so beautiful.
Okay.
I love these because when they mature and you have wind, just the movement that you can get with Japanese forest grass is incredible.
Is it? Oh, it's so beautiful. I love that, like the drift of it.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite tree or plant over here that you like? I will ask you that. Actually, I guess we can ask you that right now. Because I ask everybody that we interview, do you have a favorite plant or tree or shrub that you were just like, this will always be in my garden?
Ooh, I have a lot of weird favorites.
Okay.
What is it? Davidia involucrata. It's a type of tree. It looks like a ghost when it flowers. It has like 2 petals.
Okay.
They're very fun.
I feel like you would be into like those like cool,
Yeah,
like
the weird ones.
Yeah, and I love that though, because I feel like those are like real garden plant nerds, because you find these things that we typically don't hear about, and then you look it up and you're like, I want this in my garden. I love this. Yeah. By the way, I just love this little step up you guys have.
Oh yeah.
And then it goes into this little seating area right up there. This is so well designed. Can you tell me your guys' philosophy on planting densely? Because I plant trees very densely, but we also prune them. Yes. So we keep them pruned. And I feel like that's something in the Northwest. We do that here. Would you say, would you agree with that?
I'd say the general philosophy, right plant, right place, right plant, whichever way you want to go. So you want to always keep in mind how big a plant is going to get. You don't want to plant a 30-foot tree underneath your house. Yeah. You don't, but when it comes to the perennials, I don't see a problem with packing them in. They're fun to pack in. They look beautiful when they're all close together in bloom. And you can always dig up and divide.
And get free plants out of it. So that's the best part. No, I do. I get that a lot, because we plant our trees, so many, but it's like, I have a game plan. It's okay.
It's always up to the individual gardener, how much work they want to put into their garden.
Yes.
So if you want to be in there every day, pruning is fine. If you're happy to put in the work, go for it.
Yeah.
But if you want to take a 3-month vacation every summer and you don't have time, think about that when you plant.
I love that you said that, because that is a new philosophy that we have to live by, because that is true, because we enjoy being out in the garden every single day.
Yes.
Other people, not so much. They want to plant and forget about it. In that case, plant according to the plant tag.
Exactly.
Do not plant closely like we do.
And I always tell people, plants don't read books.
Yeah.
So even if the internet's telling you one thing, the plant tag is telling you one thing, sometimes you can get away with it.
Yeah, you can. I I have. I'm like, well, I'm gonna just see if it works. And
Yeah.
if it doesn't, it'll be my own repercussion.
Yeah, I think experimentation is one of the most fun parts of gardening.
That is. And I think that's why I love gardening so much. I'm somebody that gets bored with things very easily. And so you can't get bored with gardening because it's constantly changing and evolving. And I don't know, it's like if you're somebody that struggles with boredom, you need to get into gardening because you will never be bored. This is so cool, by the way.
Classically called dinosaur food.
Yes.
The tag over here.
Yeah.
Ganera is the other name you always hear it called.
This thing is massive. And this has gotten bigger. I've seen this big here.
It'll get bigger every year.
Okay.
It dies back. So when it dies back, you'll just have basically this during the winter time. And then through spring and summer, explodes.
It's huge. Actually, one of our neighbors has one, and it's like one of the only plants that they have in their front yard, but it takes up like their entire front yard. It
does really well here in the Pacific Northwest. It's beautiful. It's
very
fun.
Cool. Very, very cool.
This is not the best season for this plant. This is another one of my favorites. Oak leaf hydrangea.
Yeah.
With the beautiful panicles of white flowers. And then I love the fall color as well. It'll start turning like this burnt orange red.
Yeah.
I'm also a fan of seed heads. So some people love their deadheading. They like the clean look in their garden. I like the bit more of a wild, like, let's see the full life cycle of the plants.
Yeah. Oh, so you must love fall.
I love fall. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I could just, you light up. You just lit up about fall. I like that you mentioned this because I feel like oak leaves don't get enough credit because we're so into, you know, all of like the new varieties coming out. But this is like a tried and true.
Yeah. We are getting the new eclipse hydrangea.
Oh, you are? Yes. Ooh, so when will that be available?
I believe the end of this month we're going to bring it over.
I'll be here.
Yeah. We'll put an announcement out. So for anything like that, we do have a newsletter. We send it out once a week. It's where you can always find what's for sale. As well as like some of our new introductions, like the exciting things. Like if you want to be in the know. Subscribe to the newsletter.
I'll make sure to link that down below. I follow them on social media too, so I'm constantly checking because I did want to call out. They have incredible sales right now, and I think you guys are going to have another one next week.
Yes.
So if you guys want to come in and just buy your little hearts out the way I like to, this is a good time. And this is how I get so many good plants at the end of the season, is just because they look amazing, one, and two, you can't beat that price.
Yeah, no, fall is a great time. It's a great time for planting. Like if you want to keep your plants healthy and going into next season, it's the best time to get good deals.
Yeah.
Nurseries and garden centers in general are usually trying to clear out their inventory. So we're having a big end of season sale at the end of this October. So absolutely the best time to stock up if you're like redoing your yard or just trying to find like a few spaces left.
There's always space.
There's always
You can always move something around and tuck something here and there. I love this arch over here. We have one of these.
So
it's so pretty. I love it. It's so just like, I don't know, whimsical. And every time I walk under, I'm like, yes. Because you guys specialize in Japanese maples, do you have a favorite Japanese maple? Or is that a hard question?
It is a hard question.
I know. I hate asking that question because when people ask me, I can't.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to think. It's probably the weird ones again. I love a lot of the lace leaf.
Yeah,
especially when you're like standing back and just the texture it adds to a garden. I don't know about a specific variety though.
Yeah, they just look so gentle. And they are, like their leaves are just so soft. This is such a beautiful maple here. This is why I love them. This one is, which one? This might just be an Acer palmatum, right? Is this the root?
Well, I believe I think it might have a actually be a varietal, but I'm not 100% sure.
Let's see.
I'd trust the tag more than that one, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think so. It might just be the straight species.
Wow.
To double check on that.
Okay. Look at how beautiful. This is why I love, you cannot beat a Japanese maple. Like that branching is just unlike anything else. And I always tell people, if you can grow maples, especially Japanese maples in your garden, you will not be disappointed.
I do love the vine maple as well. Like our native Japanese, or not, it's not a Japanese maple, it's a vine maple.
Yeah, but we have a couple of vine maples and they're so good. And now can we go out into the garden center and could you tell us how things are laid out? And so not only do you guys have that huge production center that we were at, you also have some wholesale space across the street.
Yes.
And then the place that I always just love looking at is back there where you still have a lot of inventory. And it just doesn't stop, you guys. It just goes and goes and goes.
Yeah, it's technically a behind the scenes area. I'm happy to take you there now.
Yeah.
We often get customers who end up wandering back there because they don't see the signs because they're so focused. They see the beautiful like flowers and then they're wandering. They're gone.
We're like, come back.
Yeah, we have to go.
Yeah, come back here. And you have like your maples are over here. You guys kind of restructured things a little bit.
We did, yeah.
Like recently, because when I came back, I was like, whoa. Like what? What happened?
Yeah, we call it the In Harmony exhibit, where we brought all of our specialty maples over, put them under the shade here. We built a little pond, only hit 2 pipes in the process.
Yes, success. I have to show you guys that little pond. I think I showed them in that previous video, but
yeah, it's an absolute wildlife magnet. We have so many frogs that have moved in.
Really?
Which I love.
I love frogs too. I used to be so afraid of them. I don't know why, just as a child. But now, like, anytime I see one, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so cute. Do you want to come live in my garden? This is so cool. And you guys put this in yourself?
Yes.
Wow. Look at that.
We have a couple little goldfish that are doing well.
Yeah. And it just goes with theme, with the Japanese maple. Yes. Like, this is like a little mini
That's a
Japanese
real frog
garden.
right there. I don't know if you can see it. It's next to the sculpture frog.
Oh, I do. Oh my God. It doesn't look real.
Yeah, he's trying to blend in, I have a feeling.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably hard for you guys to see, but he's right over there on that rock. That is so cool. And then your evergreens are always in the back here.
Yeah, we have, evergreens are in 2 places.
Okay.
A lot of our ornamental, like if you're going for something that's structural or going to be like a focus in your garden, this is where you want to go. Okay. We also have a lot of hedge material, which is on the opposite side, which is also often evergreen.
Okay. And this place is stocked. Can I just say, like, I was just telling them, it doesn't feel like a fall garden center. It feels like a spring garden center.
Fire Chief Thuja is another favorite just because it's fun.
Yeah.
It holds its color all year round.
Wow. And would you recommend, like, where'd you plant this? Maybe like under a maple?
Full sun, so you don't want to put it underneath a tree. Okay. But I love, like, for this, like, mass planting.
Ooh,
I think it looks amazing. Or if you just need a pop of color.
Yeah. Do you have a good like a low growing evergreen that you recommend? Because one of my friends, Kate, she always talks about having a buddy for your trees. So you want to, isn't that cute? So you want to plant things like underneath it if you can. And I'm looking for something to kind of cascade. Is there anything out here that stands out to you?
I'd be careful. A lot of evergreens, they need their full sun.
Right.
So whenever you're planting something underneath a tree, you got to be a little mindful. If you want something evergreen underneath a tree and it gets a lot of shade, I'd actually steer you in the direction of like an evergreen fern.
Ooh, okay. I didn't think about that. But out of the like low growing ones, which one do you like? Ooh, sorry.
Blue Star Juniper is lovely.
These are beautiful, right? If you have like a big rock and you want to kind of cascade.
I like these too because they'll pick up light. And I don't know about you, I work all day. So I get to enjoy my garden in the late afternoon, in the evening. So anything that can pick up like that dying light, the moonlight, I really like prioritize. Okay. So the whites, the light blues. That's
such a good call out. Oh my gosh, Emily, that is so, I love that advice so much. I'm just like, I have it on video, so I'm going to remember this. I will never forget that. And then, of course, this is like my favorite row here.
Oh, yes.
Like these.
So fun.
Oh, so good. I could just buy all of this. And then all of you guys also sell really big trees back there.
Yes. So yeah, all the maples. Magnolias are another big one. Japanese snowbells.
Oh, yeah.
They're very
beautiful.
Fun. Yeah.
They're very beautiful. So if you guys want high impact, quickly, they have huge trees.
Very fun.
These are cool.
Yeah. Cornell Farms, I'm sure you've seen their giant monkey puzzle tree.
I have. One of our neighbors also has them in his front yard. I'm sorry, not our neighbor, my friend. And it's massive. And it's funny because in the very beginning, I didn't know like what these were, and I came right up to it and I grabbed it and I was like, ow.
Oof, yeah.
But they are so structurally interesting.
I've been told, I don't know if there's actually any truth to it. I feel like it might be like an old wives' tale at this point. Because they're not native to the region. So like our wildlife hasn't evolved with them. I've heard that sometimes like very mature trees can spear birds.
Really? I mean, they're very spiky.
Yes. Physically
Yeah.
they're capable, but I don't know if it actually happens.
That'd be wild.
You have to ask Colonel Farms. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you're doing hedges, because I think a lot of people are, into that, what do you like to use for hedges, or what would you recommend? Not necessarily an evergreen, but something that has like good color.
Oh. So if we're talking about like privacy, I actually lean towards getting a clematis, like an evergreen clematis, which isn't gonna like block sound per se, but like we'll cover a wall, we'll cover a shed.
Yes.
Very vigorous grower, and then you get the beautiful flowers.
You do, and that's a lot of them are scented.
Not too much, but some of them.
Oh, the evergreen. Scent. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking about the
there's Lansierra honeysuckle, which is scented.
Yeah. There's also one other. Gosh, what was it? It was almost like a star one. It pops out flowers in the springtime.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm blanking on the name.
Like long leaves. I always forget the name of that one. We used to have it, and it grew like a weed.
The really funky looking one, right? That's really cool looking.
Yeah.
It's gonna come to me after I start.
Okay, as soon as we think of it, I'll put it up.
It's very common.
It's very common. It's not like a special one, but it's just I always forget it.
Yeah, it's gone. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I would recommend like a prunus for like a evergreen, non-flowering, simple hedge.
Okay. Easy
nice,
to maintain.
Thick, dark. Yep. Very easy to maintain.
Yeah.
I think very hardy.
Yeah, they are very hardy. I just like it because it's different from like an arborvitae.
Yes.
I like to plant. I like to layer in trees when we're trying to do like privacy screens. So it's like a mixed hedge.
Love that.
It just, I don't know, there's more interest in that. But I think a lot of people forget that there's other things. If you just want to do one solid
we have lots of options. I can kind of look around.
Yeah.
I tend to lean away from arborvitae. They can be really difficult.
They can. I mean, they're beautiful. You guys have some gorgeous ones here. But I agree with you. I think they can be kind of finicky.
Yew trees can be really fun. I think they're little oreals. So they don't have actual berries. They have things called oreals.
Okay.
Look like them. They're like little red. Oh, some of them are over there.
Oh,
I think they're so pretty.
They're so pretty. And I feel like these would also be easy to maintain.
Yes, they're pretty simple.
Yeah, and they get 12 to 20 feet tall, 8 to 12 feet wide.
Yeah. Different varieties will reach different heights.
But. Okay, this is a good one, you guys. Nice texture too. It's not prickly, which I love. Can we get a sneak peek? I want to walk you guys and just show you. It's hard not to get distracted. and I completely understand why people walk over there, which you're not supposed to.
You see all our little stop signs?
Yeah, there's a lot of stop signs here.
I can never get mad at anyone who does that because I completely understand. Yeah. I'm also that person.
You can stand right here and look though. If you're a customer, you can come right here and just stand, but just don't go in there. But just look.
And this is mostly our staging area. So these are the plants that were grown over at Ostragi Nurseries, and they're being brought over. Some of them will go to shipping. A lot of them will end up in the garden center.
Okay.
When we have space.
Okay. So you guys like to bring them here. So this is like your back stock for when you're filling out the nursery.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and there is some stuff growing further back down there.
I just does it stop at the trees or does it go beyond the trees?
It stops at the trees here.
Okay.
And then we have other land as well, which we grow.
Yeah. Again, 350 acres. That is incredible. And when did you guys put in the cut flower garden again?
Ooh, I'm actually not all that sure. It's been quite a few years now.
Yeah.
Our downtown Hillsborough location, our floral department, isn't that old though.
Okay.
Within the past 5 years.
Okay.
So I'm assuming the cut flowers kind of came after.
Yeah.
Although I do know that Linda's been interested in growing cut flowers for a long time. So it could be a bit longer.
Okay.
That's a different farm over there, a different tree farm. And then obviously a private residence.
This is such a beautiful view.
Yes. I love coming and looking out at the fields. Sunset is particularly gorgeous here.
Oh, yeah.
Right in the back there.
Yeah. All right, guys, we are here at their greenhouse where a lot of good stuff happens. This is usually where you guys have all of your annuals, right?
Yeah. Everything that's not winter hardy.
Okay, goes in here. And you guys also have a ton of Christmas decorations.
Yes.
So you can come and get an early start. They will have more. You guys are already putting out all of your trees, all of the good stuff. So if you're in the holiday mood like I am, now is the time. You can come out here and get the good stuff before they sell out.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing. I love it. And then I wanted to show you guys their pottery.
Yes.
because their planters are beautiful. So right by the evergreens, you can come out here and look at all of these beautiful planters that they have. And they also have a little indoor houseplant section. But this I get really excited about because you guys bring in, I don't know who does the shopping, but whoever does it, they do such a fantastic job. All right, guys. Well, that will wrap up our tour today. Emily, I cannot thank you enough for showing us everything, taking us behind the scenes. She is a wealth of knowledge. I hope you guys are going to see more of her in the future because she just has so much to share. I will link everything down in the description box about Farmington Gardens, where you can find them, follow them on social media, sign up for the newsletter, right?
Yes, definitely do that.
Okay, I'm going to do that. That way you can just stay informed about all of the good events and sales that they have going on. Thank you, Emily, for hanging out with us today.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, we'll see you guys next time.